This is Garden Girl Marcy Penner with another video in the Project Life series.
This week I have a little bit of a different setup today. I usually use a piece of chalk and draw my template right on my tabletop, but my tabletop is very full of paint right now. So I decided to draw it out on a piece of poster board, and I'm going to use that to help me construct my week. So I'm going to start with this photo, and my focus this week is working with 6x6 paper pads. I'm new to the whole 6x6 paper pad revolution, so I just pulled out a couple of the few that I have. So I'm working with the Darling Deer and Maggie Holmes Crate and the Here and There from the Studio Calico collection. So for this photo, I started with it looks like a little chicken wire print, and it's from the Studio Calico Here and There line. And I thought it went well with the photo of my son cracking eggs. And I started a little bit ahead of time and started videoing, and then my phone beeped at me and told me it was full, and so I had to kind of take this card apart, and I'm going to start again for you. But yeah, nothing goes smoothly on this side of the woods. So, okay, we will start again. Alright, so for this one, I'm going to, see, it's still sticky, adhere my photo to this side. And the focus of the card, other than my photo, was this journaling card, which is from October Afternoon. And I knew I wanted an element here and here, and that was these. So I have a little triangle printable from the Banana Fish Studio printables that are now in the new digital shop at 2Ps, and one of the new cut files. And I knew I wanted them there, so I took a pencil and I just traced them out onto the card so that when I ran this through my typewriter, I didn't end up typing on or underneath anywhere that wasn't going to be seen. So we're going to just stick this down. This card originally was that tall, and A New Day had nothing to do with the topic of my son liking to cook, so I trimmed that off. But I liked the card because he's cooking scrambled eggs, and I wanted to use the chicken on there. So this die cut, I usually take my cut files and I will cut out a whole sheet of 12 by 12 designs, and I'll either leave them white or I will mist them different colors, but that way I just get a whole bunch ready. And I will try to remember to show you how I store those yet in a second, but I just wanted to get this washi back on. I chose to add this washi because of the yellow at the bottom, and I just thought it needed some more color at the top. So actually I'm going to do it so it covers. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do some stitching up over this card that I will do instead. So I'm just going to fold that back, and I'm going to trim this off. And like I said, I'm going to be sewing the die cut down and the little printable down. And so what I do with those is I will cut them and print them ahead of time, and I take them, and because I need to know what goes with what month for my videos, I keep them separate. So this is the printables for the month, and I keep them in a storage, stamp storage or CD case, and I print them and I cut them out and I just keep them in here, and then I put them in my IKEA cart with the rest of my goodies. And same with the printables. I'll cut a whole sheet of just designs I think I'll use, so lots of frames and the little You Are Here starbursts. And I keep them in here so that they're ready to go when I need them, because I find that I don't go to my Cameo just on a whim. So this card is using the Maggie Holmes paper and a Darling Deer paper. And I have a photo and one of the Kickerland journaling papers, and so I want those on there, I know that for sure. So I think we'll go right about there. And we'll tack those down. Normally when I have a photo of two of my kids, I'll either use a 2 or an ampersand, and I found this 2. I think it was from American Crafts pack of die cuts somewhere. And I have a wooden pin, and if I can't slide it down and get it to sit nice, Let me see. No, that one sits pretty flat. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll poke it right through everything so it comes out the back, and then I'll just put a piece of washi tape over it to hold it down. But this one actually looks like it's going to sit in there quite nicely. I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on there. Okay, and then I also had this from the DigiShop that I cut for a calendar card, but in the end I'm not going to use it. So I may use it here. I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay, I'm going to think on that one because I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to leave that for now and I'll come back to it. So another piece of paper and a photo and one of the journaling cards from this month, and just start by gluing this one down, and I'll start by gluing this on, and then we'll embellish from there. Okay, so I have kind of the pink and the red, so I'm going to go with the pink, and I have a tag that I do not want the call me part. I just want this, so either I'll cut that off or I'll just tuck it under, but I don't want to peel that up right now, so I'll maybe save that and I can maybe use that for something else down the road. Okay, and then I also want to put this little photo notes, again from the Banana Fish printables. I want to put that right up here, I think. Okay, so I want to glue this down, and I'm just going to tuck the string behind it so it's not running around. Okay, and we'll put it about there somewhere. Okay, now that looks pretty good, but I think I'm going to move this down just a touch, and then I think I'm going to put some washi at the top. Okay, and I have the wood grain, and I know it is a different wood grain than that one, but I think I'm going to use this Glitz washi anyway, even though it is a different wood grain. And I'm going to stitch over that later, and I'll add some journaling in there and a date. I didn't write my dates behind my photos this time. Oh, I forgot my little chicken. I found a little Studio Calico chicken that I was going to add right there. He must have gotten lost in my pile somewhere, so we'll stick him on there. Okay, now I'm going to move up here, and I have a photo of my boys drawing. Well, one is drawing, one is watching. So I was looking for things that had to do with drawing or art or being creative, and so I found this pattern paper that has little, very hand-drawn crossword puzzles on it, which isn't drawing per se, but I thought it went well anyway. And then I have this die-cut card that came from, I think American Crafts again, but I'll find that and I'll link that up. And so I pulled a few little things that I liked for this one, and I typed out the word drawing for my title. So this is from a basic gray garland from Knee Highs and Bow Ties, and it has a little blueprint, can't talk today, of a boat, of a ship, and I thought that kind of went. So I'm going to stick him up there, and then I think I'm going to save this for this guy, and I'm going to put this guy there yet too. Okay, so I think I'm just going to start clustering some things around. I think I'm going to put my title in there. And again, I have the two boys in this one, so I'm going to use an ampersand. Yeah, I like that, so I think we'll go with that. Okay, so I have the Studio Calico veneer, the little pebbles, says so very important, and I think I'm going to journal about how I want them to continue always drawing and making art. And so if I can pick it up, I have a Knee Highs and Bow Ties. It's a little see-through tag or a little arrow. And because I'm going to stick the word drawing on top, I'm going to be okay with adding my adhesive to it. I'll tuck that in a little bit. I like how I can cover my title, my more of this, a little bit, and you can still see through it because it is transparent. Okay, and I will take that and cover the glue that I had there. And I have, oh, hey, look at that. I was going to use the like, and I flipped it over and I saw it says creative. Ha! See, can't plan everything. Okay, so I'm going to use creative instead because that works even better than the one I had planned. And a little ampersand. Okay, and again, I'm going to stitch these down. I'll probably just stitch right down this side probably, and then I'm going to journal in there. So that one is done, and now I have another card that I did the same typing on, and I knew I wanted a little, this is again from the printables, I wanted to place that little label there, so I just penciled that in. Let me find an eraser here. Okay. That's smearing a little bit, but hopefully my little circle will disguise that. Yep, it does. Okay, so glue that on. And this is just a picture of all the laundry that we came home to that weekend. So I'm going to actually work on this one before I forget. So I think I'm going to, well, I don't want the one showing because there's two kids and that seems silly. So tuck that in there. And yeah, so I do have room for this week 14. And I don't have like a ton to say about this picture, so I think we'll still be okay there. So I will just, well, that one's pretty much stuck on the glue behind there. Anyway, so I will leave that one alone and I will glue this one down. So this is an example of a cut file you can take and just add your own text in there. I usually will put a few of these on the screen, and then I'll add random text, like I might do noted or today or this or whatever, and then I just have them ready for random instances. So okay, I think that one is good now, and I had that one left, and I have a receipt because when you're gone for 3 weeks and you come back, you have a lot of groceries to buy. So that goes with that one. And then I had an empty space, so I found this card. Again, it was a little bit taller. I had to trim it off, but it is from, let me see if I can find it. So that's what I trimmed off, and that is from the October Afternoon office line they have. And so I'm just going to put that in there. Sometimes if I have an empty space, instead of trying to fill it with random things, I'll just find something that actually looks like a little piece of art and I'll stick it in that pocket. So I cut this frame from the shop as well, and I'm going to use it on here. And I'm going to just kind of decide where I want it to go. And let's trim off extra there. And my photo is a little bit wider. I'm not sure why, but oops. Okay, so we'll do that. So just put a little bit of glue because, again, I'll probably be sewing down somewhere, knowing me. I'll put that on there, and then I'm going to trim whatever I have left that I didn't get. And I'm actually, let me see. I'm going to use the leftovers I have from when I trimmed my 6x6 papers. I'm just going to see if I have anything that would work behind there. That's pretty light, but I like that. I think that would be better than, well, actually I like that one. Okay, so we will use that one. And make sure I have some glue on there, and I'm just going to tuck that in. And trim that off as well. And I could have pulled down the die cut in my software and made it actually fit the exact size of the pocket, but I didn't want to distort the font. So I left it alone, and what I'll do is I will just back it with this piece of pattern paper. So we'll do that. And I'm going to put some more washi on this one, I think. Let's see. I think I'm going to do this one. It kind of goes with my peachy pinky. Okay, I'm just going to do a little piece, I think. Okay, and that looks good. So now I'm just going to give everything a once over and make sure, other than stitching, that I'm okay. I think I want to add something to this one. Let's see. So I have the Studio Calico cork arrows from the new Atlantic collection. And I'm going to, I think, have something coming down pointing to the laundry, either the arrow or the triangle, the little chevron. So I'm going to use, I think, that arrow. So I like to leave the backer on all my stickers so I can kind of place them down, or figure out where I want them before I actually place them down. Okay, so now that that's good and things are mostly down, I'm just going to add my journaling. And I have some room at the bottom for a date, so I will continue on with that and do my stitching and come right back. Okay, so I have everything sewn down, and now I'm just going to start lifting the edges of some of my embellishments and photos, and I'm going to add the last few things that I do, which are things that I possibly want that will be on top of the stitching, so things like enamel dots and brads and stuff like that. So just quickly curl these up a little bit. And there's also some places that I did not sew that I would like to use my tiny attacher, so I'll do that now as well. Staple that down, and I think that was it. When I stitched over this needle, I just made sure I did it by spinning the wheel, turning the wheel on the side so that I didn't stitch through the needle and break it, which I have done before. So I have enamel dots, which I don't know that I will ever get tired of. And so I'm just going to add a few here and there. And let's do another, well, that's a muddy yellow. Maybe I have a better, I think this yellow will be better. And I don't know, I had pulled aside some brads, but I don't think they actually work with anything that I have here. So I have some travel. I could use maybe the green. Actually, I'm going to do a pop of green on this one just for fun because I have this green here, and then I have like a teal, but let's go ahead and let's use this one. I usually have them going over half onto something else and kind of looks like they're pinning down an item. So we'll do that, and I'm going to add a dot there as well. I think we'll do, that's kind of a pink. That, and I have a little bit of dead space up here that I know I would like to have something there as well. So I seem to always do these in twos. I don't know why. So I'll do that, and I'm going to do this darker blue for kicks. Okay, and I think that's it. So my challenge for you this week is to make use of those 6x6 paper pads in your projects this week and link it up in the gallery so we can all see it.